Do you know which is the most brutal episode of BLUEY? Even though it's a children's cartoon, BLUEY has some very heavy, sad, and even strange moments. And we've already made several videos showing these other sides of the show here. But today, it's time to show that BLUEY can also be brutal. Let's start with the lightest one and save the worst episode for last. One day, after making a huge mess in the playroom, Chili tells BLUEY and Bingo it's time to tidy everything up. But the sisters don't want to do that work. That's why they come up with the idea to call Robot Dad to tidy everything up for them. The problem is that they say they never want to tidy the playroom again, and Robot Dad decides that the easiest way for that to happen is to throw them both away, since they're the ones who make the mess in the first place. Desperate not to be thrown in the trash, they spray water in his face. That makes him start to malfunction. Then he ends up confusing BLUEY with the vacuum cleaner and Bingo with the clean laundry. To fix the problem, Chili says they have to press his nose, so he stops working. To do that, they knock Bandit down and wrestle him on the floor until they manage to press his nose. Poor guy. But that's nothing. The worst is yet to come. If you want to see which are these heavy moments from BLUEY, take a seat and protect yourself, because another zigzag video is about to begin. A barbecue with uncles and cousins seems like a calm and innocent event, right? But the day Uncle Stripe shows up with Muffin and Socks at the healer's house for a family barbecue demonstrates that it's not necessarily like that. BLUEY is imitating Bandit and pretending to make sausages on a toy grill, while Chili brings the salads, and Bandit is grilling the food and chatting with Uncle Stripe. Muffin looks at the salad and says she wants one too, in that bossy way of hers. Bingo was planning to relax, but since BLUEY is on the pretend grill, the job falls to her. Muffin decides she wants green pepper salad, so Bingo gets up and looks for some green plant that looks like peppers. Then BLUEY asks for yellow peppers, and again Bingo gets up to find something that looks like that. Finally, Muffin wants red peppers, and Bingo has to go to the backyard tree to pick some flowers. She grabs a rake and starts shaking it to make the flowers fall. But first, she ends up knocking down some hard seed pods. One of them flies really fast and hits Bandit right on the head, making Stripe laugh. Think it ends there? Not at all. After that, Muffin decides she wants salad dressing. Poor Bingo is already exhausted, but she grabs a water bottle Bandit was about to drink, empties it, and fills it with mud to pretend it's the dressing. Since there's not enough mud, she decides to make more and turns on the hose. But the water pressure is too strong, and the hose goes flying around, spraying everyone, with Bingo chasing after it. At one point, Bingo falls to the ground and the hose lands in a position that shoots water straight at her. Apparently, this family barbecue is not for amateurs. Bandit loves playing with his daughters, but it seems that sometimes he forgets that Bingo is very little. In the episode Yoga Ball from the first season, she's only 4 years old. Bandit is trying to work from home, but it's really hard. First, BLUEY and Bingo steal the yoga ball he uses to sit on in the office. When he goes after them, he grabs BLUEY and bounces her on the yoga ball several times. She has a lot of fun with that, and Bingo asks him to do the same with her. But he goes with the same intensity that he used when playing with the older sister. That ends up being too much for poor Bingo, and this happens throughout the whole episode. He hits her belly hard when pretending to put on a stamp when they are playing delivery. He throws her onto the bed with too much force. And finally, they play Raiders from Indiana Jones, running away from the yoga ball down the hallway and jumping to the side to get out of the way. At one point, Bingo can't make it and ends up being run over by the ball. Poor Bingo even goes to the backyard alone to hide under the bench after all that aggression. Do you think Bandit goes a little overboard with his games sometimes? Type #Bandit in the comments and tell us. Boing! In the episode where BLUEY and Bingo decide to play hairdressers, they find nits in Bandit's fur and need to do something to get rid of them. First, they make Bandit take a bath with cold water, and the aggressiveness already starts right there. After all, taking a cold bath is not for everyone, and from what is shown in the episode, he is clearly suffering. Then, when he gets out of the shower, they grab a fly swatter and a toy hammer and hit him with all their strength to eliminate the nits. After that, they grab a wooden bird and use it to peck the nits off Bandit, which in reality is just another way of hitting him. When Bandit says that the knits are gone, Bingo gets sad. That's because throughout the whole episode, she is trying to find her voice, as Chili says, which means that she is having difficulty saying things and deciding what she wants. She gets sad about the end of the knits because she feels that she still hasn't found her voice. Then Chili gives Bandit a hint, and he starts scratching himself as if he were full of knits again. Bingo finally finds her voice, and that's when the darkest part begins. They tie Bandit upside down, throw water balloons at him, throw flour, and then use rakes to scratch him all over. And once again, we see Bandit suffering, poor thing. And if you don't want to see us suffering too, just subscribe to the channel. Click the button and subscribe. Before talking about the heaviest episode of all, it is worth mentioning as a bonus an episode in which Bandit and Chili fight against Tina. She is an imaginary friend of Bluey and Bingo who is very big and strong. The sisters use Tina so they don't have to do what their parents tell them to and to make them do everything that they want. They try to fight against Tina and things get really bad. Now the time has come to reveal the most brutal episode of Bluey. The episode Magic is one that can even scare some unsuspecting person who is watching Bluey for the first time, starting with it. In this episode, Bingo wants to play with her mother, but Chili is tired after cleaning the house and just wants to rest a little. When Bingo tells Bluey what happened, she teaches her younger sister how to use magic to make other people play with her. She just doesn't remember that this goes against the only rule that Chili taught her about magic, which is not to use it to make mischief. It ends up that the two of them make Bandit and Pat dance together against their will, and the first violence already starts right there. Because they make Pat lift Bandit up in the air for a few seconds until he can't hold him anymore and Bandit falls on top of him, at that moment, Chili arrives and catches the two of them red-handed, reminding Bluey of the rule that she taught her. But Bluey doesn't want to accept it, and that's when a kind of magic fight between mother and daughter begins. But before that, Chili throws Pat and Bandit to the other side of the fence, saying that they have nothing to do with that. When Chili thinks that everything is fine and starts to leave, Bluey uses magic to make her mother spin around her. We even see that the sky has darkened as a warning that something bad is going to happen. After spinning, Chili almost falls face first into the dirt, but she manages to stop before that and uses magic to throw Bluey inside the house. While they are fighting with magic, they keep arguing about using magic for good, and Chili tries to explain to them that adults can't play every time the kids want them to. After all, someone has to take care of the house and make the food. Both of them are thrown to the floor several times. At one point, Chili is thrown so hard that she even slides across the floor. In the end, Bingo rebels against Bluey after seeing that she let herself be carried away by the power. She joins her parents against her older sister and ends the fight. But I am not sure that Bluey really learned her lesson. Which moment did you think was the heaviest of all?